Hello there, my Tumblr-brained gamer pigs. How are you doing? It's been a long time since I did one of these, but I don't care. Look, this channel does not have a real schedule because we're disabled as hell, physically. Okay? What you're seeing in the background is some footage of us, finishing some old work-in-progress canvases from mostly over a year ago. It's good to go back and find your old sketches and finish them, because some of them are really good, and maybe you didn't have the energy to finish them back then, but you might be able to finish them now. I am currently still recovering from some insane EDS pain. It was, predictable, because December is always a hard month for me, but to give you an idea, normally when I flare up, it's just like one joint, or maybe like my whole body feels a little achy and unstable. I was feeling pain on both sides of my pelvis, both hip sockets were aching, and threatening to dislocate, so it was kind of agony, I'm not gonna lie, even for me, someone who has dislocated my elbow before and popped it back in unmedicated and just like tanked that. I've lived with disabling hypermobility my entire life, and no issue, but this winter was crazy. But life goes on. I continue to endure extraordinarily painful things, and just continue with my life, like many disabled people do. I'm still hot on the streak of rewatching stuff that came out when I was younger, and kind of developing my feelings about them. I've talked here about how House MD and BBC Sherlock were me, like, getting back in touch with my old detective fiction enjoying teenage self. Interestingly enough, at my 27th birthday party, yes, that's how old I am, one of my friends claimed that I have Sherlock Holmes autism, and then, like, my friends who were over started to debate amongst themselves over which iteration of Sherlock Holmes I am. Well, and you know what? I have no right to be offended by that. It's true. It's entirely true. The people that love me the most fantastic. I think it's mesmerizing. I think especially, I've got to give the actors here a lot of credit. They did a really good job here of making their characters particularly mesmerizing. As someone who grew up around a lot of catty wealthy people, you know, I was a scholarship kid at a private school. Believe me, I've seen this exact kind of person. Like, I've seen both of these people 1,000 times. I have loved these people. Don't get me wrong, eat the rich, like, old money rich people, that need to be held accountable and need to be confronted with revolutionary thought, okay? I'm a leftist, I'm a wokey, okay? But that does not change the fact that watching rich people engage in deranged rich people drama is the funniest thing in the world. I'm going to give a lot of credit to NBC's Hannibal adaptation here. Thank you, Brian Fuller, because making Margot and Mason kind of hilarious, like, unserious characters was a great idea. It really... Okay, I'm gonna go off on a writer rant here. Every other character in Hannibal is deeply serious. They're very serious. And then Margot and Mason show up, and they're both just, like, weird and silly. Now, obviously, their rivalry is very serious. It involves a lot of abusive behavior. You know, they're trying to kill each other, they're hurting each other, they're going behind each other's backs and then, like, doing terrible things to each other. Mason is especially aggressive. And, you know, Mason is especially gross. I mean, he recreationally makes children cry. He's absurd. And that's what I like. They are both so crazy and dangerous, but, like, they're also kind of camp about it, and that makes them stand out amongst the crowd of deeply serious characters. It's a very clever way of kind of indicating how the upper classes live in a world of their own, and they are kind of ridiculous. And, you know, Mason being a weird, evil rich boy, man-child, and Margot being, like, a scheming, evil lesbian whom I love very much. I love both of them, to be honest, as evil as they both are. I like the fact that Margot and Alana are kind of like a sapphic parallel to Hannibal and Will. That's something that most people don't talk about, but it's true. And Brian does not bury the lead on that. Brian Fuller does not bury the lead on that. He goes out of his way to kind of... So Alana is briefly in a relationship with Hannibal Lecter. I say briefly, I think they dated for a while. But at the same time, Will Graham enters a lavender relationship with Margot as part of her plot to get back at Mason. So having these two deranged queer couples also be each other's exes in a way. Very clever. I like that. I'm talking a lot about that particular season, but that's because I have so many thoughts about it. If you've been watching my shorts, or if you've been keeping up with our shorts, you know that I've been posting progress on some Hannibal fan art too. We've got some fan arts coming. Maybe I'll put some speed paints on a vlog eventually about that. I don't know, don't tell me what to do. I'm a stranger on the internet, don't ask me for anything. I'm so glad that I'm such a niche creator, because it means I get to just disappear for a few weeks being disabled and then come back and chat my shit about a TV show that no one in the broader cultural zeitgeist has discussed for years. It's great. I love my life. What else was I thinking about? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the story of the Joestar family. You know what? That's one of the few times I've ever caught a tick on the mic. I'm gonna leave it in. I think my Tourette's is really funny sometimes. My relationship with JoJo's is so complicated because, I've talked on this channel about my shitty, abusive ex before, but his favourite manga and anime was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So, for the longest time after we broke up, I actually couldn't engage with JoJo's, even though I really like it. I recently managed to actually watch through it again. I'm really glad. I'm proud of myself. That's on recovery. I'll probably never re-enter the FGC again for the foreseeable future, because the two of us were involved in the fighting game community together. We were on the same team, and I can't even pick up Street Fighter, Tekken, or Unist without just having flashbacks of him throwing a tantrum every time I beat him in a set, or even just a game. That's gonna take me a longer time to get over, I think, because there was so much violence. And I mean violence. Watching a grown man punch the furniture and shout because he lost at a video game is, like, it's surreal, and it really sticks with you. But we all know this already. Fuck Nice Gator. fuck Gabe. Fuck Gabe for ruining my relationship with Street Fighter. But also for a million other things, his many atrocities. I've been told that the Crown Prosecution Service are still building their case on him. He very well might be taken to court, which if you know anything about the UK's justice system, you'll know that it's very rare for someone to actually end up having a case from the Crown Prosecution Service for being an abuser. Like, they have to be pretty bad to actually be investigated that far. In the UK, more often than not, these cases don't even make it to court, because our police system is very broken, just like many police systems are. But his case is, according to the last correspondence I received, is actually being taken on by Crown Prosecution. So anyone who has been concerned about my abusive ex and what might end up happening with that, just so you know, it is actually going somewhere. I've gotten quite lucky in that regard. But here I am, moving on from what happened to me and to many others, because he was a serial abuser, and, you know, I'm mending my relationship with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yay, anything's possible. Recovery is real, even if it's really hard. So to those of you who care about my my gay boy yapping, thank you. I know not many people actually like these vlogs, but I really, you know, don't care. It's my channel, and some of you like it, which, that's cool. I've been making videos from a young age, you know, we've had more than one channel over the years. This is just something I do. With that in mind, if you do like what we post, even if it's, you know, various different stuff, you know, if you like the YTPs, if you like the vlogs, if you like literally anything we post, you know, you could subscribe if you like. I'm not gonna put a gun to your head or anything. Unless... But for the love of all that is holy, leave us a comment, will you, if you've watched this far? Talk to me. Talk to me. I didn't mean for that to sound so scary. But you know, like, ask me things if you want. I try to read as many comments as possible, whenever I can. We do get a lot of comments sometimes when one of the videos blows up. But you know, getting comments is very nice. It's very encouraging. I know a lot of people kind of, you know, don't wanna because they're shy. Am I intimidating you? Am I intimidating you? Don't be intimidated. I just had to take my boots to the cobbler because I slipped on a frozen puddle and ate shit on the pavement and fucked up the heels of my boots. I'm a comedy person. I'm a comical person. Don't be shy to talk to me. I am a little transgender clown who draws pictures for a living. So comment if you want, please. Or don't, okay? Shoot me 62 times in the chest, see if I care. If I make it to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the world, I will, I don't know, I'll do a cool trick with a throwing axe or something. Sometimes I do cool tricks with a throwing axe. That's just like a thing I've been into lately. Don't ask. And if you're still listening, go get a little treat and a hot drink or something. That's a little present from me. You're welcome.